Welcome to the WAC podcast. Eric Danner and Kendra Sheehan at Lockhart Arena. For those of you watching on YouTube, you're fresh off from a trip from Las Vegas, Nevada, where the men's soccer tournament was held. We're knee deep into basketball now. We've had a couple of weeks of action. We'll get into that. Let's start off with men's soccer. When we talked to you last, Kendra, it was the championship match. Is California Baptist against UNLV, the Cinderella story of UNLV, the 4 seed, but the slipper did not fit, as it turns out.
It did not. California Baptist came away with the victory, the first team in WAC tournament history for the men to go back-to-back tournament champions. And really, they just looked so solid. Credit to UNLV. I mean, this is a team that was picked 8th, obviously, in the preseason,
right.
and came a long way.
They're going to be in the tournament.
Right. Yeah. They end up making into the tournament. They make a run of the championship. And, it was a 2-1 win for CBU. Louis Mueller was
I have so messed up that name on WAC Top Play.
Is it
Mula? Is it like Mula?
If you say in more of the English, it's Louis Mueller. But then if you're going German, it would be like Luis Müller.
But then I noticed Ben Wilson saying Luis still.
Yes. And that's coming from the German side, I believe, because, you talk to Co Michelson, he says Lewis and they say Mueller, but in his German side, I guess it's Müller. So it's very, a little.
You know what I call him? Most outstanding player of the tournament. That's what I call him.
He sure was. I mean, he scored the two goals in the championship. He assisted in the semifinals. I mean, he was just phenomenal. You leave him open and he'll make you pay. He had a phenomenal header in the semi, also in the championship. There was no doubt that he had to be the most outstanding player. Credit to UNLV. Nico Lopez, he had the first hat trick in WAC men's soccer tournament history. He scored the goal, the lone goal for the Rebels in the championship. 4 goals in the tournament, pretty impressive. But yeah, CBU just looked really good. They have incredible defense, and then of course with Mueller at the top, just able to bury some goals, and so they're headed back to the tournament. They'll take on San Diego, if we're being on November 16th. That's Thursday, 7 p.m. for a chance to advance. They took on UCLA last year in the tournament. It was a 2-1 loss, and so they're looking to make some noise again, and they certainly have the pieces to do so.
A winnable match.
I think so. I don't think you can count out California Baptist.
I guess, right? But...
Yeah. No, I think they definitely have a shot at advancing in the tournaments.
And now they have that experience that you talked about from last year. Seattle U also getting an at-large bid. So shout out to the Red Hawks. They were the number 1 seed. They're a top 10 ranked team coming in, but they get upset in the semis against UNLV. They're in. They go to Oregon State for their first matchup.
Yeah, and that's an exciting one because the Red Hawks defeated Oregon State 2-1 during the regular season. That was September 7th. That was at home in Seattle. And so this is, a really good battle. And if Seattle U comes out and plays the way that they've really been playing all year, I think they have a chance to also advance. And also Oregon State, that's BJ Craig of UNLV's old school where he used to be.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So very interesting. A lot of connections
all
there. All
kinds of tie-ins there. So we look forward to that. That'll be Thursday, both of those matches. So in men's soccer, only 48 teams qualify for the tournament. So it's a little bit different than the setup, the traditional 64 that we're used to. Also wanted to touch on Grand Canyon women's soccer. Their season came to an end at USC, 1-0. They played a great match. De'Ara Jackson had a fantastic save in that one as well, but it was not to be, but very competitive from the Lopes and Chris Sissel, and what a great season. The 4 seed from the WAC tournament playing USC 1-0. That's pretty good for WAC soccer.
It's pretty impressive. Just shows you, the depth in our league in both the men and the women's side. And shout out to Coach Sissel and what he's been able to do with the Lopes. He's always built a successful program, and so very cool. And that's a team that I think will go back to the NCAA tournament very soon.
We're going to have more on volleyball coming up in our next segment. If you can hear the volleyballs bouncing behind us, we have
voices
practices going on here. We currently have top seed Stephen F. Austin in the He's as they say. Stephen F. Austin, by the way, 16-0 in the WAC,
Pretty impressive.
27 match home win streak, longest in the country, I believe. 38th ranked team in the RPI. A lot to be excited about for the Lady Jacks, but we'll talk a little bit more about that in our next segment. Basketball, we got underway. November 6th was opening night. We had all kinds of games going on. We had the big upset we talked about last week with Abilene Christian knocking off Oklahoma State.
Oh yeah.
So this week, our first Ticket Smarter Players of the Week, starting on the men's side, UT Arlington's DeJuan Gordon. California Baptist Dominique Daniels Jr. is the newcomer of the week. DeJuan Gordon is the player of the week, a graduate transfer guard. Had a couple of doubles for UTA, so we didn't touch on it too much last week, Jess, but they opened up, they beat Oral Roberts, who was in the NCAA
You
tournament
just
last
call me
year.
Jess. We got to go back now.
Oh my goodness gracious. See, you've been gone for so long that I've replaced you in my
I know.
Kendra.
Kendra.
Kendra Sheehan.
She's in, all in.
Sorry about that, Kendra. I do,
It's okay.
I do
It's okay.
apologize. So DeJuan
That's
Gordon had two doubles. They beat Oral Roberts, a team that went to the NCAA tournament last year. And this is a new group of guys for KT Turner, new coach. So that was a great win for them. They start off the season 2-0.
Yeah, really impressive. You never know what you're going to get when you have a brand new team, pretty much. Not a whole lot of players on that squad from last year's roster. You get KT Turner, new head coach, and starts 2-0 on the year. It just builds a lot of confidence with the guys and their quality wins. You mentioned Oral Roberts, and then they also played UT Tyler as well, but very exciting for that program.
5 men's basketball teams off to 2-0 starts. California Baptist, Grand Canyon, Seattle U, UT Arlington, and Utah Valley. Grand Canyon, by the way, they had a big win over Southeast Missouri State on opening night. Followed that up with an 89-55 win over Northern Arizona from the Big Sky Conference.
Whoa.
And Colin Moore hit a half-court shot at the end of the first half. What's interesting right now, and I don't have it in front of me, but Ray Harrison, I believe, is their 5th leading scorer after 2 games. So 2 games in. But Tyon Grant Foster had 30 points his first game. He's the transfer, played at Kansas originally, played at DePaul, and now he's at Grand Canyon. Gabe McLaughlin's back. Ray Harrison's back. Colin Moore showing he's a player. He had 12 points, including that half-court shot. Sidney Curry is a force to be reckoned with.
Don't I know it? Covered him at the JUCO level.
There's a lot of players to be excited about. And Javon Blacksher Jr. hasn't hit the floor yet.
Interesting. I know that he was still, going
Rehab.
through that rehabilitation process. So I'm assuming he'll, get on the floor, but that might be, hey, we don't want to get him on before he's ready. But I mean, Ray Harrison, 5th leading scorer, although it's early, that just shows you the depth on that squad.
So they will be playing at the Desert Diamond Arena in Glendale. They're going to play San Francisco, the Dons. Always a good matchup there on the 17th. And then they play either DePaul or South Carolina on the 19th. So a couple of big matchups coming up for GCU. And then before too long, Jess, we're going to have that first
Oh
week
my
of conference
gosh.
play.
You said Jess again. We're gonna first I'm gonna let I know we have to
First
be
time-
quiet
First time,
because
shame on me. Second time, shame on you. What is it?
I don't feel like any should be shame
fooled
on
again.
me because it's not me. I feel like, and also this lower, it makes this sound so sad.
It does. It does sound sad.
But we are very happy. We're
I'm sad
just
that I said it again. But I'm excited Jess is going to be on, and I'll call her Kendra probably.
do it twice just for fun.
So anyway, Grand Canyon. So we do have Kendra. We have WAC play starting up November 29th. So we do have that week of WAC play. So it's early in the season. Then they go back to non-conference, and then they finish up the season starting first week in January all the way through WAC Vegas conference play.
That means Road to WAC Vegas, our 30-minute show airing on ESPN Plus Weekly, will actually get underway right after Thanksgiving.
Already have some episodic elements in the can.
That's right.
As
they say, getting ready. So
Can't
mark
wait.
your calendar for that.
Women's basketball, or player of the week, goes to Brianna Gillen, who is also our preseason player of the year from Utah Tech. And the newcomer of the week, Angela Begovic from Tarleton. So congratulations to them. Gillen, by the way, 5th-year guard, averaged 22.5 points, 62.5% shooting, 9.5 rebounds, 6.6 assists, 2 steals. So stuff in the stat sheet for the Utah Tech women's basketball team.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Gillen's a player who we knew was going to be very talented. And so just her coming out and proving why she was the preseason player of the year. It's always funny when you talk to players and they're like, yeah, it's great, the preseason, but I want to be the postseason, the actual player of the year. And so, but she's well on her way.
And we also had some matchups in the WAC Conference USA scheduling alliance. And then so far, knock on wood, the WAC has been playing pretty well in these games.
Yeah, don't discount the WAC. I mean, this is a cool alliance that they're doing, to be able to have these games. And it's a part of a larger picture and a larger vision of Commissioner Brian Thornton as well. But yeah, a great start for our WAC schools so far, picking up some big wins and just building that confidence. There's so many new players and so many new rosters really cycling over from, players leaving and graduating and transfer portal. And so it's good to get some big wins.
So on the women's side, we saw Utah Tech defeat Jacksonville State. We had a good matchup between Stephen F. Austin and Liberty. They come out on the wrong end of that by 3 points, but a very entertaining matchup there. UTRGV and Florida International was also a very close matchup. So getting some big games right away. We saw Tuesday night, there was a lot of Power 5. UT Arlington played Texas. You went to Utah Valley and BYU.
I did.
So what were your thoughts on that one?
I think Utah Valley was one of those big teams where we didn't have a whole lot of, there were a lot of question marks surrounding the team. So many new players. Kaylee Bayon was a freshman last year. She made a big impact. And so, I think there's still obviously work to be done. It's early in the season, but they hung tight with BYU for, a majority of it. Some things they need to clean up defensively, but really impressive. And good to see get our teams, playing against a Power 5 foe now that they're in the Big 12 conference.
Yeah, very exciting. So this was part of your WAC road trip.
WAC road trip
to Utah Valley. Well, we're so excited. We're gonna have Kendra coming on next segment.
Yes, double Kendra.
I mean, Jess.
It's not the same. Just kidding, Jess. You didn't hear that.
It's like parents. Your parents ever confuse you and your sister?
They do all the time.
All the time.
My mom will be like, Kristen, and I'm like, she's not even here. I'm the only one here. Why are you thinking about her and not me? Just kidding, Mom, I love you.
All right. Let's take this to break. You're listening to the WAC podcast.
Stay with us.
Welcome back to the WAC podcast. We are at the Lockhart Arena on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah. Now joined by Kendra Sheehan. Jess Rapper.
Wow.
I called Kendra twice. I called her Jess twice.
Oh, see, that's because you
so
can do it with me.
I would do the same thing for you. So now I've done it twice because I said coming up next, Kendra Sheehan.
Yeah. Well, for me, I already thought it was a joke.
So she says she's already been replaced. Jess just comes out easier than Kendra, I guess. It's one syllable.
Yeah. 4 letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, welcome back. Volleyball. You're a former volleyball player yourself, as I understand it.
I'm not, I don't have favorites, but volleyball is my favorite. I love volleyball.
So tournament starts Thursday. We got 4 matches, semifinals on Friday, championship on Saturday. But today, Wednesday, as we're shooting this, all conference awards came out. And I don't think a lot of big surprises if you've been following WAC volleyball all year, but Stephen F. Austin, of course, 16-0, 38th ranked team in RPI in the country. They, I think, have a 27 match home win streak.
I know, yeah.
Longest in the country.
Yeah.
So no surprise they get player of the year.
No, 27-3 overall. Just to let you lose 3 matches in a season is really good for them. So this is their best season in the WAC so far. I think the first year that they were here in 2021, they were 8-5, I think. And then next year they were like 11-13, and now they're 16-0.
I think 11-13 doesn't sound correct.
No, 11-8, 6. Hold on, let me double check.
So last year they were, I believe, the 2 seed in the tournament.
Yes.
And won the tournament.
Yes.
Went to the NCAA's. This year, they clearly win the championship in the regular season, the 1 seed, and the WAC player of the year, which I was trying to put it on the tee for you, Elon Bradley.
I'm sorry, I went off on a tangent. Elon Bradley, though, been playing so good all year round. WAC player of the week, probably
several times.
Yes,
Several
several
times.
times.
Setter of the year goes to Claire Mitchell of Grand Canyon. Again, outstanding player. We talked to Coach Nolan on our broadcast calls, and he said as soon as the season was over, she said she's coming back. So there was no question that Claire Mitchell was going to be back for that 5th year.
I love that for her. And that says a lot about the program too.
Right.
Just immediately after the season over, like, I'm coming back. Don't even need to think about it. It's
Right.
just like my 5th year, I'm using it, I'm here. So that's really good for them. Amazing just athlete and player for that team. She's leading the team ever since she got there, setter of the year. This is her 3rd time in her career getting this honor. So amazing accomplishment, amazing career from her. I just would love to see how it ends in this gym this week.
Libero of the year goes to UTRGV.
Yes, Kiera Liz Perez. She's been good all year. 4.83 in the conference, digs per set. That's not, not common, but to get almost close to 5 is kind of hard, especially in the 16-game window.
Yeah, and a very tough conference
Yes.
as well. The freshman of the year goes to Nicole Mauser of California Baptist. Coach of the year, no surprise, Debbie Humphreys, who won her 800th match this past season and going 16-0 in conference, 27-3 overall. So congratulations to all our major award winners. WAC volleyball tournament gets underway 10 a.m. Mountain Time.
10 a.m.
on
bright and
Thursday. Right off the bat, Grand Canyon, California Baptist, two very good teams. 2 teams that have seen each other a lot. They're travel partners.
Mm-hmm.
It's not terribly far between Phoenix and LA, and they got to play at 10 a.m. And you've played volleyball a long time. When you play your most important match of the year, all of a sudden it's at a little different time. When do you eat breakfast? When do you have your coffee?
Yeah.
Those kind of things.
I think it's kind of, hard. You definitely have to get in that mindset early. Definitely need to go to sleep at an early time at night, and then.
And they're at our hotel.
Yes, they are at our hotel. Grand Canyon is at our hotel, not California Baptist. Grand Canyon is at our hotel, but our hotel is offering breakfast from 6 to 10, so they don't have any issues there. They can get their breakfast straight at 6 a.m. But I think it's just kind of hard. Like I said, like, you have to wake up, you have to get your mind right. It's a lot of things to prepare, especially when you have a game on the line like this, an important game where you want to get to the championship of the of the WAC championship, and then to not automatically, but to win that one, to get the automatic NCAA bid, so you could play in the NCAA volleyball tournament. So it's just hard, and bright and early like that, especially time zones. We have 3 time zones, so it's just like, thank God for not.
Well, in California Baptist, it's 9 a.m. Pacific time when they were playing.
Yeah.
Now we just had the time change also, so I think it kind of averages out, right?
Here we go with the mountain.
So we're in Mountain Standard Time now, right?
Standard.
S, because the D is when it's
daylight.
Yes, thank
you.
It's sinking in finally. Second match of the day will be UTRGV against Tarleton State. Tarleton played Monday.
Yes.
And now they're playing Thursday, so kind of an odd week in terms of schedule for the Texans.
But they could use that to their advantage, though.
And
they
won.
In
also their first time in the WAC tournament.
Yeah, so they've joined the WAC in 2019?
2019. They were not during our previous, previously we did not have teams that were not eligible for the NCAA tournament qualify for the WAC tournament. Commissioner Brian Thornton last year changed that rule, and now teams that are transitioning is what we call it, from D2 to D1, they are eligible. We saw Utah Tech, women's soccer, men's soccer both qualify. We see Tarleton State here, so they're very excited. This is their first tournament.
Yes.
They're playing UTRGV, though. This is a team that's had a lot of success in the WAC the last few years.
For
sure. Todd Lowry, you mentioned they have a lot of talent on that team, so that'll be an interesting matchup. 1 p.m. Mountain Time tomorrow.
Yes, but Tarleton's on a hot streak. I feel like they just defeated Abilene on Monday, 4 sets, 3-1. They've just been on a hot streak this second half of the conference. They beat Grand Canyon this second half of the conference, so I think they'll take that into this game tomorrow. It'll definitely be a good game. Don't count Tarleton out. I think seeding is always funny when you look at number 3 UTRGV, number 6 Tarleton, but honestly, seeding doesn't matter when you're playing for a WAC championship.
We have our next team coming into practice here, UT Arlington, so want to kind of get through our podcast here so we don't have any issues. But the number 3 game or 3 match of the day, Stephen F. Austin, as we mentioned, number 1 team playing number 8 Abilene Christian. The Wildcats' brand new head coach. She just got named in July, gets the team into the tournament, but Stephen F. Austin, they look like as good a team maybe as the WAC seen since I've been here for 6-7 years.
Yes, it's just like we've been saying all year. don't have anybody that can not put the ball down, I feel like, or make those runs. And I was having a conversation with someone yesterday, and we were just saying, like, even when they're down 6-7 points in a set, it's just like they come back and they remain calm, they remain poised. So Debbie Humphreys has been doing a tremendous job with that team, and just letting them know that it's okay if we're down 6 points. We can get back and we can win a set. So we've seen it multiple times before within this season from them, and it's just, when you have a poised team like that doesn't, break down under pressure, it's hard to beat them.
And they have not gone to 5 sets yet.
Exactly. Only been to 4 so far. So no 5-set matches for SFA, but that could change.
That could change. That's what the tournament's all about. And then the final match of the night will be the host Utah Valley taking on the team behind us now, UT Arlington. This is a matchup we saw last year.
Yes.
And Utah Valley came out on top in that one. Sam Atoa's had a lot of success in the WAC tournament, a couple of titles.
11 straight tournament appearance for Utah Valley, actually.
Very, very good stat.
Yes.
Look at that. Would have to be the longest in the conference, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, they joined the conference in 2013. They've been in the WAC tournament ever since. So, yeah.
UT Arlington just joined last year, and they're back in the WAC tournament. But JT Wenger, their coach, I mean, this is a team that was coming into the conference play, one of the top teams, finished number 4. That's one of the biggest matchups I'm looking forward to.
Oh, no, for sure. And to have it to be the last game of the night is always good, to have the tight game, that tight matchup. I was also talking to somebody else yesterday, and it was on the Utah Valley staff, and they were just talking about that game during the season where Utah Valley lost to UTA, and they were just like, it was so close, and it was just like, it could have been anybody's game at that point, and UTA ended up being on top. So both these teams know it'll be a hard fought match tomorrow. So it'll be very interesting to watch. UTA has Brianna Ford.
Anyway, they were all conference.
Yeah, so UTA has 2 all conference players on their team right now that's putting down tremendous numbers for UTA. Probably least.
Actually, I'm trying to remember, because coach said Brianna. There's one player on their team that goes by Brianna. One team goes by Brianna.
Yeah, so they spell it different. Brianna Ford is Brianna, and then the other one is Briana, or either Bre. But they do have 2 Briannas. So I'm pretty sure they get mixed up in practice all the time.
So that'll be the first round on Thursday, the quarterfinals, and we have the semis on Friday. That'll be at 3 and 6 in the championship then on Saturday.
Mountain time.
This is all mountain time. This is facts. So a lot to look forward to here from the WAC volleyball tournament in Orem, Utah. Also wanted to mention the cross-country national championships, I believe, happening this weekend.
Everything happens all at the same time.
It does. They got to get done before Thanksgiving, right?
True, that is true. But I mean, men's soccer is playing during Thanksgiving, aren't they?
Yeah,
the NCAA tournament.
So yeah, I think they do.
I thought that was weird.
Well, I mean, a few years back, we actually had the WAC volleyball tournament Thanksgiving Day. The
Really?
first round was Thanksgiving Day.
That should be illegal.
4 matches. Had
4 matches on a holiday. Oh,
actually, it might have been. I don't know. I have to look it up. Because CSU Bakersfield was the host.
Oh,
They're
okay.
still in the league, and in their hospitality room, they had like a turkey loaf. And it was just.
Is it good? That
It
doesn't
wa-
sound
it was
good.
on Thanksgiving. but,
Turkey loaf. Oh no.
Anyway, so a lot to look forward to here at the WAC volleyball tournament. You got anything else? You got any shout outs?
Tune in to ESPN Plus this week. You get 7 matches, great matches at that. If you're missing out, why are you even listening to this podcast at that
Well,
point?
and also we encourage people to tune in early, because our numbers last year I was looking at, those early matches Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific, like
Yeah.
you said. Hopefully the fans and everybody will be turning up to watch that.
While you're sitting at your desk at home or at work, have ESPN on one of those laptops, on those screens. You got double screens. I feel like everybody has double screens
Everybody
now.
does.
So one screen, have your work. The other screen, ESPN Plus, WAC volleyball. I love it.
All right, thank you, Kendra. Jess. That does it for this week's WAC podcast.
Yay! I actually feel like that last sentence I just did sounded like Kendra. So, I like it. It's okay.